Hello, this is Blake from UK Entomology, and this is a screen recording on my phone to show you how to use the Survey 123 app for the Kentucky Keepers invasive insect monitoring program, in particular for how to use the survey to mark sightings of spotted lanternfly, imported fire ant, or tree of heaven. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually install the app. So this is an Android phone. There's probably some process to install apps on Apple phones as well. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do that, but it's probably pretty similar to the Android phone. So I'm going to go to my Play Store. I'm going to look up something called ArcGIS Survey 123. Click that. And then I'm going to install that. This will take a few seconds. We'll edit out the installation process. Okay, so ArcGIS has now installed on my phone, so I'm going to open it. And the first thing I'm going to do is allow Survey 123 to take pictures and video while using the app, because there will be cases where you will enter photos into the app if you make a sighting. So I'm going to say yes for that. Now I'm going to sign in with ArcGIS Online. And this is where you're going to use the username that we give you and also a password that's actually the same for everyone. So my username, I always forget what it is. It is BlakeN_OSE. So lowercase BLAKEN underscore capital OSE. And then my password is the same for everyone. It's OSE Surveys 1. So we'll put that in as well. And it also wants to know my device's location. So this is a GPS-based app, so we do want to allow it to do that. So I'm going to say while using the app, it can use my device's location. And now it just sort of has a generic screen here where I need to download the survey, because GIS is used by people all over the world for different surveys. So we need to download our specific surveys that are associated with our username. So I'm going to push download surveys. And there are several here that for some reason I'm associated with, but the Kentucky Citizen Science one with the little spongy moth trap is the one that we're going to use. So I'm going to push the little cloud button that downloads that survey from the cloud. So it's downloading the citizen science part of the survey. Now I'm going to back up one step to my surveys. And so if you happen to be using ArcGIS for other surveys around the world for all kinds of different things, not just insects, you might have other surveys here, but ours is Kentucky Citizen Science, so I'm going to click that. And now it sort of summarizes what the survey is about, and I'm going to collect data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I'm making a sighting of a tree of heaven. So there's not actually a tree of heaven out here, but I'm going to pretend that I found one and make a mark with it. By the way, if you ever need to show youth how to use the survey, but you don't actually have one of the creatures or plants around that you want to mark, you can go ahead and make a fake one and just tell us about it, and we can delete it. It's easy to do that. Just tell us. You can actually you can even make a note down in the field that says, hey, this is fake data. We're just showing how to use the app. That's okay to do. We actually do that quite a bit. So the first thing that I'm going to do on this app, on the survey part of the app, is to enter my name. I'm just going to put my full name here. And so your 4-Hers can use their names or they can use your name. It's okay. It just sort of helps us to narrow things down where this came from. For county, we're going to put the county that you're actually taking the data in. So if you work in Fayette County, but you're in Madison County for some reason, you would use Madison County, but I'm in Fayette County right now, so I'm going to do that. And now for select a survey. So the way we're showing you how to do this is the same for either spotted lanternfly, tree of heaven, or fire ant. The spongy moth traps is a little different. We have a whole separate video for how to do that survey, because you have to put in the trap and take it out. But tree of heaven, spotted lanternfly, and fire ant are just visual observations, just one-time observations. So if you see one, you would do it the same way for each of these. So I'm pretending I found a tree of heaven, so I'm going to select survey. I'm going to click, see there's 4 options. There's spongy moth, spotted lanternfly, tree of heaven, and imported fire ant. You'll also see that each of those has an abbreviation. So tree of heaven is TOH, and that's important here in a moment. So I'm going to click TOH for tree of heaven. And now for trap ID, this is just sort of a quirk with the system. We're not doing a trap with our tree of heaven. We're just making an observation. So we don't have a trap number. Instead, we're just going to kind of put in a number that helps us on the data end to see what this data point is. So we're just going to enter TOH for tree of heaven, and then for the number, it just basically has to be any number between 1,000 and 2,000. So a 1 and then 3 numbers behind it, and you can just make up the number. It doesn't really matter. In my case, I'm just going to put 1001. It would be good to keep a log of this so that you don't enter the same number twice. It doesn't really matter that much if you accidentally enter the same number twice, but do put the TOH there and then a number beginning with 1, because the 1 tells us it's a 4H entry, and then 3 digits behind that, and that just helps to keep the data sorted. So in my case, it's just TOH 1001. Now, trap location, it does that for you automatically. It's using the GPS. If for some reason your GPS is not working very well, you could put in the notes an address or an approximate address, and that'll help us as well. And then for service date, it automatically picks that for you. And then for service type, since this is a tree of heaven, we're not setting a trap or anything. Our only option is visual only, so I'm going to click that. And then for site inspection, do you think you have a suspect pest? And in this case, I'm pretending this is a tree of heaven, but in this case, since I'm pretending, I'm going to put possibly. I think it's a tree of heaven. And then I'm going to take a picture of it to send to the app. So I click to take a picture. I'm going to take a picture of this tree, which is, I think, actually a, I guess I'm not sure what kind of tree it is. It doesn't have any leaves yet. It's got very smooth bark. It's definitely not a tree of heaven. Take a picture of it. If I had leaves to take a picture of, I would do some leaves. That would be really good to do. And then for notes, I'm just going to say where I am. This is Ag Science North Lexington KY, in case the GPS wasn't working for some reason. And then I'm also going to say fake data, because this one isn't a real data point. But that's how it works. So I'm going to click check mark to enter the data. So my survey is completed, so I'm going to say send now, and that sends the data to our database. So now it's uploading that information, sending trap ID, the TOH001 we did, and so we sent one, and that's good. Okay, now that we've entered our fake data for tree of heaven, we're going to show you the same process, and this time we're going to do it for spotted lanternfly. We're going to pretend we found a spotted lanternfly. And the process would also be the same for imported fire ant, but just to show you one more time how it works, I'm going to click the collect button. I'm once again going to enter my name, the person who's actually taking the data. And then for county, I'm going to use the county that I'm actually taking the data in, so it's Fayette County. For select a survey, this time I'm pretending that I found a spotted lanternfly, so I'm going to click spotted lanternfly. For trap ID, I don't actually have a trap once again, but I'm going to use SLF for spotted lanternfly, and if this was a fire ant, it would be IFA. And then I'm going to put a 1 that indicates this is a 4H data point, and then just three random numbers, or if you're keeping track of the numbers, that would be good as well. But the last 3 numbers don't matter too much, but in this case I'm going to put 001 because this is my first spotted lanternfly observation. So once again, the GPS is done automatically, and so is the date. And for service type, This anything with a spotted lanternfly is going to be visual only, because we're not setting up traps, at least not at this time. And then for site inspection, do I think I actually have a spotted lanternfly? I'm going to put possibly. And then for take a picture, spotted lanternflies are usually going to be on the side of a plant somewhere. So I'm going to kind of get close and pretend that there's some spotted lanternflies standing on this branch. This is actually a very sort of typical place where you might find them. So I've done that. I've got my image. And now for notes, I'm going to once again say fake data. And I'm also going to say that I'm at Ag Science North. It's always a good idea to put in your location just in case the GPS doesn't work very well. And then that's it. We click send, and that we click the little check mark button. Then we click send now. It's uploading the data. And then that's it. You have successfully sent data for Tree of Heaven and spotted lanternfly. Hopefully you won't actually find any spotted lanternflies. We don't have them in Kentucky yet, at least as far as we know, but we have lots of Tree of Heavens, and we want to know where they are. This actually would really help us to know where Tree of Heaven are, because if we do start getting spotted lanternflies, it will be good to knock out those populations of Tree of Heaven so that we can reduce the population buildup of spotted lanternfly. So that's how to use the app, and we'll see you on another one of these videos.